There's two ways in which you can look at what's happening to the market right now. Person A is pessimistic. They're definitely not watching this video. They think it's too risky, it's too volatile, there's no money to be made, and they'd rather wait it out. Then there's person B. Person B is you. You're here, you're ready to learn, and you're ready to make a lot of money, not just in day trading, but in your long-term portfolio too. And that's what we're going to discuss today, is how we are going to win this week, find what stocks, levels, and setups to watch, and get you prepared and confident to make money in this crazy market. What's going on, my friends? It's your boy Jay Dunn, Trades with Team Bull Trading, and I'm so glad to have you guys back with me for another Sunday watch list. Like I said, we're going to find the best setups, stocks, levels, and everything else that you need to know to win and stay confident in this crazy market. Now, first things first, let's peep out our data for the week. You always want to know what data you have, what drops you have. You don't want to be surprised or in a position, data drops, and you get wicked out. Never fun. So first and foremost, Monday, not a lot. We have governor speaking, consumer credit, not much. Tuesday, not a lot. Wednesday, however, we have FOMC minutes, and I believe, let's go back here, and by the way, let's take a second and look at that Team Bull win rate. Almost every single day, we have more traders winning than losing. Mind you, there's thousands in here, but not as many vote on these. We still almost always have a positive win rate of traders winning to losing. So let's look at this. Thursday, we have CPI. Then Friday, we have PPI. So you always want to be aware of data and be aware of when that's dropping so you don't get caught in a position you don't want to be in. Now, that being said, let's talk about what's happening to the futures market. You can see the futures market is open, and we had a 500-point gap down or 900-point gap down or something. Big gap down, right? We opened up at 17.53, down at 16.6. So yeah, 900 points. That's crazy. So first and foremost, it's key to note that we are at our previous all-time high before an aggressive rejection down. So I think that, here's the deal. At some point, we're going to get tariff relief, meaning Trump put these reciprocal tariffs on all these countries. I read an article where 50 of these countries came out and they said they want to negotiate with Trump. Well, if we get the negotiations that these countries want and they strike deals, that's going to be good news for the market. Market pumps off that relief saying, hey, tariffs are going away, especially if we get them with Europe or with China, right? Two bigger markets of ours. So beware. This aggressive selling down is not going to go on forever. That's coming from someone who made over 800K in the last bear market. I love trading puts, but I can tell you that we're going to make money on the way down, and this market is going to go back up. It's just a matter of when. So personally, this is a big area of interest to me. Where we're at now, at 16,500, call it, all the way down to 15,700. This whole consolidation zone in here is a big area of interest for me. Now let's dial this down a little further to a daily chart. There's not a lot we can see here, but I can tell you that I will be watching for a bounce at this 16,000 area. This looks like a really good area, right? You can see we had a daily touch here, a few touches here before an aggressive move up, a gap that we broke through, retested, and moved. So this is going to be a very strong support for us down at 16,000 on NQ, 600 points lower. Not impossible for this week. Heck, not even impossible for tomorrow. So beware of that, have it marked out, and don't get perma-bear syndrome. Stop trying to catch the bottoms, stop trying to catch the tops, okay? Stop trying to, don't short support, don't long resistance, okay? Please be careful with that. Now, let's go to more specific levels. Let's go to our 4-hour. I guess not, there's nothing down here. So we won't look at that, but we will look at, let's go back to this daily chart here. Let's go back to this daily chart here, and let's talk about if we are to pop up. So let's say this is the bottom right now. Let's just play the what if game, because at this point, when you're gapped down 1,000 points, you can only really play the what if game. Right now, if we have no tariff relief, if we stick with what we have, the selling continues, I will look for a retest of this gap low here, 17,000 for puts or shorts. However, if we start building strength into this, I'll look for a gap fill up. We can play the longs up to a gap fill up to either A, the SWIC 17.4, or B, the high 17.5. So I'm not going to sit here and try to reject this inside the gap fill. We can look for shorts before that, but if we use this gap as a magnet to the top, I'm not going to get in the middle of that. A lot of times, gaps don't always have to fill. Let's make that very clear. I've been trading for 9 years. Gaps don't have to fill. They will often because the top or the bottom acts as a magnet, but they don't have to fill. You guys need to get that through your head. It's critical for your mindset because other times people are like, oh, there's a gap, it has to fill. I have to wait for this gap to fill. Not true. So that's my watch at NQ. Now let's go over here on QQQ. It's in Dice and see what we see there. Now, obviously this has not updated, so this is going to be much lower, right, than you're seeing right now. But as far as QQQ goes, I still like this 388 area. Looks beautiful for a bounce. Same thing as we saw with NQ. Let's go to the weekly chart here. Weekly chart here. So right now in QQQ, we're sitting around this like 404, likely, right? It's the same correlation with NQ. So 404-ish, 403. However, if we keep moving on down, I will still watch for this like 388, 386 for our next aggressive bounce. I think that the short-term bottom is coming soon. It's just a matter of when. So don't try to time it. If you're a long-term investor, a long-term trader, keep dollar cost averaging down if that's your plan, not financial advice. That's what I'm doing, right? I bought QQQ at 430s. I'll buy more at 420s. I'll buy more in the 400s. And I'll certainly load them on the effing boat down in the 380s, 360s, and beyond because we're going to go back to all-time highs someday. I don't know when. Might be 6 months. Might be 6 weeks. Could be 6 years. I don't know. But when I invest long-term, it is for years. It's not for days. It's not for months. It's for years. Same thing I'm doing with Tesla. Same thing that I'm doing with Nvidia. I just add on dips and I wait. So that's my watch there, is those bounce levels. Now, on the flip side, if we get a little relief, I will look, if it's not tariff relief, right, to short this like 415 area, right, or the bottom of the gap candle. If we try to fill this gap back up to previous day close, to Friday's close, I'm not going to touch that till we get up here. Then we can decide if this is going to be another weekly lower high or if we're going to continue that pattern down. Now, something else that I found very interesting was the monthly chart. Look at this monthly volume already, right? We are, 6 days into the month, and we are at a quarter of the previous month's volume. So that shows we are still picking up. This selling is real. The selling's happening. It's not an anomaly right now. So as long as it's not an anomaly, and as long as the move is supported by real volume, this continues. If we get tariff news, if we get tariff relief, whatever you want to call it, we likely see some relief support back up. So let's go look at SPY real quick as well. Then we'll go to some individuals. This is one of the times where trend lines do matter, right? I wanted to watch for a bounce from like 480 SPY. I think we're probably sitting around there right now with this gap down. But this is a pretty aggressive trend line. I'm not a huge trend line trader, but I will look at them when they make sense. When it's so obvious it can't be ignored, I'll look at a trend line. I'll respect a trend line. The problem with trend lines is a lot of people will use them and they'll try to make up with their imagination. Oh, well, this should connect or this should connect, and that turns into a big old problem and more creative drawing and writing than it does actual technical analysis. So, I actually do like this trend line. It matches up with some of these previous COVID lows, right? Goes through this higher low here, higher low here, higher low here, and right around this previous area of previous resistance turned support and all-time high, it also matches up here around 480. So if we don't respect this, my next bounce area is going to be down here, like 456 to 450. I will certainly look for a bounce in that area and look for some relief to go back up. Now, my whole mission for you guys this week is not to try to time the bottom. We don't have a lot of levels to work with, but it's also to stay very patient with your trades. I released a video on my main YouTube channel at JDunTrades. I'll link it below, of my favorite strategy. It's getting a ton of traction right now because it's a good strategy. It works. It helps people. And I highly recommend that before market open tomorrow, you guys take some time out of your Sunday night or your Monday morning and you watch that video. And at a minimum, watch it for your Monday night homework. Now, we're not done yet, guys. I just want to get that out there because the video is going to help you. I promise you it will help you. Let's talk about Tesla. Now, let's get off the monthly chart. That's not really doing anything for us here. So, Tessie baby is sitting around 240. We're actually holding up decent from the rest of the market. So, if we get a gap down here, I will still be looking to add Tesla down at like 200 area into those lower 180s. I mean, I'll add it as it keeps going down. But as far as day trades go, let's talk about this, or swing trades, day trades, whatever you're looking at. 2 aggressive weekly downside candles sitting at 240. I'll personally look for a bounce around this like 220, but I'm not seeing a lot in Tesla. Honestly, I haven't mapped these out yet. I like to come on and give you guys my raw thoughts. I'm not seeing a lot right now on Tesla, just to be completely real. So not a whole lot there. We're kind of stuck in this middle zone. I'll watch 220 areas for support. We do have some resistance up here at like 270s, but kind of a no trade zone for me on that. Let's go check the hourly quick and see. This probably won't matter because we'll be gapped down, but for what it's worth. Not seeing a whole lot either. So we're going to call it no bueno on Tesla. Another name that we will watch, however, is Nvidia. This thing's getting low, and I'm a buyer down here, just letting you guys know. If we keep going lower, I am most certainly a buyer. Go to our month chart here. Kind of hard to see. We just basically aggressively went up for months at a time, but I really like this area here in the 90s. I definitely like in the 80s, and I think if we get below 80 in this bear market cycle, that will be a blessing long term. If you're young like me, you're young still at 40 or 50, so let's not get that twisted. But I'm 28, going on 29 next month, about a month from today. So, I love this as a blessing. I think AI is the future, and I do think we'll see all-time highs again on this, right? Our volume here is saying that we are still aggressively selling, kind of expected after this massive run-up in the bear market conditions, but I think that it's going to come to an end sooner than later. So that being said, not a lot as far as day trading goes. We can look for a reject at like 104, right? This actually looks decent with these wicks, with this big candle. But besides that, not seeing a whole lot that I love there. And my main focus this week is going to be NQ, ES, and then options on SPY and QQQ. So keep trading smart. Keep trading safe. Choose discipline over dopamine. Today is day 7 of our 75 hard. I update that every single day on my Instagram and in our free Discord. Both are linked below. And just remember, guys, that you have to choose an elite mindset. You have to choose a winner's mindset. You have to come with the attitude every single day that you will become a profitable trader, whether it does immense damage in the process to everything that you believe benefits you right now. And what I mean by that is life's going to get hectic in this process of becoming a profitable trader. It's not going to be simple. If it was simple, everyone would do it. It's going to be stressful. It's going to cause a lot of self-doubt. You're going to be frustrated as hell. You're going to feel like quitting 10, 20, 30 plus times. But in the end, if you want to be part of the 1% to 2% of people that make it and make a lot of money doing this, you have to give it all you have every single day. You got to want it more than you want to breathe. So keep that discipline up, trade smart, trade safe, and I'll see you guys for our daily recap. Hopefully we catch a banger tomorrow. God bless and have a nice Sunday night.